Mario, Mario, Mario. Everybody loves that tiny Italian plumber, and I assure you, I'm no exception. He's been setting the standard when it comes to platformers ever since he crawled out of the turtle-infested sewers, and it doesn't look like he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. And while every one of the 3D Mario games has been at least solid, I have a soft spot for his space-borne adventures in the Super Mario Galaxy games. I loved the first one when it was originally released on the Nintendo Wii. I loved it when I first played it for the show, and I imagine I'm going to love it again. But we'll find out for sure when I recomplete Super Mario Galaxy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Completionist New Game Plus, a show where I focus on the original 120 games in the original Completionist lineup once again. It's a lot, trust me. But today I am tackling a game that I am more than happy to revisit, Super Mario Galaxy. I pretty much never get tired of this game. Now I did an episode on it a while ago. I played on Super Mario Bros. More recently, and I even streamed myself playing as Luigi. I can't imagine I'm not going to continue gushing about it, so I brought someone in to gush with me. That didn't sound 100% right, but you know what I mean. Today I am joined by my good buddy, Scott The Woz.
Hey y'all, Gerard there. I'm really excited to gush about my favorite space-based Mario platformer / video game of all time, Super Mario Galaxy. Nobody loves this game more than I do.
Actually, Scott, I love it more.
Nuh-uh. Me.
I will fight you, Scott.
Whoa there, let's calm down. Tell you what, we can both talk about the game and how much we love it, and everyone else can decide. It'll be a good old-fashioned gush-off.
All right, fine. I agree to these terms. Just don't say gush off, that's gross.
Look, we all loved Mario 64, right? But it's important for a series to keep evolving. And while its follow-up, Super Mario Sunshine, didn't reach the dizzying heights of that genre-defining masterpiece, it at least showed that folks at Nintendo were still interested in thinking outside of the box.
I think you mean outside the solar system.
What? No, I was talking about—
And they wouldn't stop there. It was time for Mario and his brother Luigi to take a giant leap forward into space. The inspiration for Super Mario Galaxy would come from Super Mario 128, a tech demo for the GameCube from the year 2000. While the game would eventually lose about 127 Marios, it did borrow that demo's big concept of spherical platforms. And while spheres have been around since about forever ago, the thought of integrating them into a platforming game was a pretty risky one. But Mario didn't get into the dangerous high-stakes world of plumbing because he's afraid of risks. No, just like me, Mario eats Risk for breakfast.
Wait, is that what happened to my Risk board?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. This non-disclosure agreement is a pain. But I can confirm that Super Mario Galaxy was a hit and that its gravity-based space-bound gameplay set a new standard for the Mario series. We would get a direct sequel a few years later, and the ideas found in the Galaxy games would redefine how fun and imaginative Mario games could be.
In fact, you can still see concepts and influences from this game in the most recent Mario titles, like Odyssey. But while those later Mario games are great, we're here to gush about Super Mario Galaxy, Scott. So let's keep our minds on the gush-off, shall we?
You really gotta stop saying gush off, man. It's disgusting.
What? But you're the one that— okay, you know what? Never mind. Because I need to focus on completing Super Mario Galaxy, which I'll be playing on the Nintendo Wii U. First, I'm gonna have to beat the game as Mario, getting all 120 stars along the way.
Sounds easy enough, then what?
Then I'll have to do it all over again as Luigi, who is a lot floatier and more slippery, which are really dangerous attributes to have when you're only ever a couple of feet from a freezing cold vacuum of outer space. And that's pretty much it. Doing both runs will get me those last secret stars. Other than that, I've got to collect 9,999 star bits on top of all the ones we need to unlock all the galaxies. Now, since I've already played this game so many times though, I don't expect it to be too much of a struggle, and that will allow me to just sit back and enjoy the game.
Not as much as me, though. I'll still enjoy it more.
Well, come on, man, don't do this again.
Sorry.
Super Mario Galaxy was hailed as a masterpiece upon release for a reason, and I'm happy to report that it still holds up. There are a couple of segments that are notoriously frustrating, but even those can't drag down a game with some of the best platforming and level design I've ever seen. Mario has always been awesome, but launching him into space really took him to the next level. You know, it kinda has me feeling like we should just do that with every franchise. Due to its scope, Super Mario Galaxy immediately feels like it has higher stakes than most of the other games in the series.
It all starts at the Star Festival, where Mario and Peach are just hanging out when Bowser shows up and literally steals an entire castle with a goddamn giant flying saucer. Mario tries to intervene and gets launched into the cold, lonely void of space, where he has to fight his way back by helping a nice cosmic lady named Rosalina power up her floating observatory by collecting stars. Yes, it does all boil down to collecting stars like most other modern Mario games, but that opening expands the world so effectively. It's cinematic and dramatic. It lets you know that this isn't your grandpa's Mario.
But it's accessible, so your grandpa could totally play it if he wanted to. Mario games have never really been bogged down by complicated mythology, or particularly interested in telling complex and unpredictable stories. And this game also keeps the focus squarely on the gameplay. But those opening story sequences do a great job of making you feel like you're working for something, rather than just hopping from planet to planet for funsies. But if you're looking for someone who hops around between planets, Mario is almost certainly the best guy for the job. And in Mario Galaxy, he comes fully equipped with his usual assortment of long jumps, backflips, and wall hops. But that's not all. This time around, he's got a handy-dandy spin move, which he can use as either an attack or to solve certain puzzles.
The developers put the spin in there because they thought Mario's usual strategy of jumping on the heads of his enemies might be too tricky on totally three-dimensional platforms, and they were kinda right. There are times when it's hard to tell where you're gonna land, but the spin move is always right there to help you out by giving you some extra airtime or when you've got a Goomba right there in your face. It's honestly a great addition to Mario's moveset and feels totally natural.
Scott's right, the spin is great, and it's one of the ways that the developers really took the added challenge of designing their levels around a bunch of tiny planets and spherical platforms and rose to meet it. Traversing all of Mario Galaxy's weird tiny galaxies feels great, and the game always returns to the core concept of gravity and the way it affects your travel from area to area. Sometimes the switching from planet to planet can cause the controls to reverse or get kind of wonky, but it's worth it for all the gravity shenanigans.
You know, this might be a controversial opinion. I'm just gonna say it. I like gravity. Gravity's great.
Wow, you're so brave.
Thanks, but I'm not as brave as the folks at Nintendo were when they decided to make this game. It's impossible to play through Mario Galaxy's various galaxies without thinking about what a headache it must have been to design them. Each area is so varied and different, but they all take full advantage of the galactic setting. Like the Freeze Flame Galaxy? So cool. It takes fire and ice, two super classic types of platforming levels, and mixes them up by smooshing them against each other. And even the early galaxies, like Gateway and Good Egg, have tons of personality, while still giving you room to figure out the basics of the game. Each of the missions within a given galaxy also have super varying lengths, with some of them being real quick, but much harder, and others feeling like tried and true Mario levels. Each one is allowed to feel like its own little game, even within the same galaxy. And some of the galaxies have a whole bunch of star missions, while others are one-offs. Let's hear it for variety.
I do kind of feel like we were spoiled by some of the more open Mario games, where you can pick up a star and keep running around though. It might be because I've played so much of Mario Odyssey since the last time I played this, but getting booted back to the galaxy menu after grabbing a star had me feeling like I'd spent a lot of time waiting around between actually doing stuff.
That doesn't sound like gushing to me, Gerard. I personally feel like this element of design isn't bad at all. It's just Galaxy and Odyssey are different types of games. Odyssey's power moons are way more quick and bite-sized, with dozens upon dozens hidden in each world. It would be the most annoying thing imaginable to get kicked out of a world in that game after getting just one stinking power moon. Galaxy has much meatier missions, so I'm okay with how it kicks you out after nabbing one. Gerard, maybe you should try saying something nice about Super Mario Galaxy for once.
No, it's fine, I swear. It's just that launching into a mission is a whole thing, with multiple menus and having to lift Mario up into the star launcher again, and it wouldn't bother me so much if I wasn't so eager to get to the good stuff. Because the good stuff is, well, good. Like, really good. All the levels are weird and unique, just like the NPCs you meet on your journey. Like Rosalina and her tiny little star babies. Or those adorable penguins. Even Captain Toad.
Yeah, Captain Toad. He's just a toad with a flashlight strapped to his head, and he rules so much that he eventually got his own series of games.
Something I won't ever be, though, if this game is any indication of it, is a professional manta rider. Everyone talks about those sections and the ones where you have to balance on a ball as the most frustrating parts of the game, and they're not wrong. The forced motion controls can be a real pain if you're not used to them, but fortunately, they make up a pretty small percentage of the overall game. And like anything else, you do eventually get accustomed to them. I guess it goes to show how amazing the overall game is that anything that isn't absolutely perfect stands out so much.
Speaking of absolutely perfect, can we talk about the awesome boss fights, or how cool most of the new power-ups are, like the bee-suit? Or how amazing every single second of the soundtrack is? Galaxy was the first Mario game with an orchestral score, and it makes a huge difference. Mahito Yokota and Koji Kondo went all out, giving each of the galaxies its own cool pieces of music specific to the vibe of that particular area. It all has this truly cosmic, out-of-this-world, grandiose feel that reminds you that Mario's in outer freaky space.
I couldn't have said it better myself, but I'm glad to hear that you love this game almost as much as I do. Maybe next time I play it, I'll let you help me gather up some star bits.
Oh yeah, before I start sobbing because you said you like this game more than me, we gotta talk about the co-op. I almost forgot that a second player can point a Wii remote at the screen to gather star bits or freeze enemies. It makes gathering star bits way faster, but also makes the game even easier than it already is. I always felt this was just an easy way to advertise the game as having a multiplayer mode without actually implementing a multiplayer mode, but it's a solid enough way to get a younger sibling or video game averse friend in to join the fun. Speaking of siblings, we haven't even talked about Luigi yet. After beating the game and gathering all 120 stars, you get to do it all again as Mario's taller but less successful brother Luigi. The game is basically the same, but Luigi jumps higher and slides around a lot more, which makes everything just a little bit more difficult.
It feels just different enough from playing as Mario to make it worth doing, though I do wish they tweaked the game a little bit more to make the Luigi run feel more special. In the levels where you see Luigi, they didn't even change anything, so Luigi is literally just hanging out with a copy of himself. It's kind of weird. Creepy Luigi clones aside, playing through Super Mario Galaxy again has been a privilege. The level design is as visionary as I remember it being, the music and the visuals are stunning, and it all feels like Mario but taken to the next level.
That was some pretty good gushing, Gerard. You gush real good.
Thanks, man. I think. Outside of new stars getting you into new areas and the option to play as Luigi, Super Mario Galaxy doesn't really feature any unlockables. But playing a Mario game has always been its own reward, and the Luigi option is enough incentive to get you through the game a second time.
Once you've collected every star with both of the Mario brothers, you get the Grand Finale Galaxy, which is a fun little final mission, taking us through the Star Festival, the first area in the game. And once you do that, you get a nice congratulations message sent to the Wii message board. That's adorable.
Now, I will say, one of the weirdest things I noticed from all of this is that if you play this on the Wii U Virtual Console, there's actually no way to look at your rewards. I think this has something to do with the fact that the Wii U menu doesn't have the same messaging system as the Wii menu does. Either way, it was still a blast to complete.
And finally, there's your reward for collecting 9,999 star bits. For completing this task, you are handsomely rewarded with all of the coconuts in the game turning into watermelons. So how do you feel, Gerard, now that you've recompleted Super Mario Galaxy, aka the objectively best game of all time?
I feel great! It was just as fun this time around, and I honestly can't imagine myself ever getting sick of it. I might even jump right into the equally good sequel, just to get my fix of more cosmic Mario adventures. I just love running around on tiny planets.
Honestly, who doesn't?
While we completed Super Mario Galaxy, there were 42 galaxies explored.
242 stars collected across 2 playthroughs of the game.
Well over 9,999 star bits gobbled up.
45 total hours of playtime.
And 2 separate Luigis, because why the hell not?
I'm glad you got a chance to revisit this game, Gerard, and not just because I got to join you in talking about it.
Me too! Some of the games I've been going back to for New Game Plus have been a chore, but Super Mario Galaxy was not. And even playing through it a second time as Luigi was a blast. There's not a single star I wanted to miss out on or a single galaxy I wasn't happy to revisit. Even the motion controls were not as annoying as I remembered. And hey, a big thank you to you, Scott, for coming in to help me gush about this game.
Anytime, man, anytime. Like literally, I can come back and gush about it some more next week if you want.
So there you have it. I still love Mario Galaxy, and I can't stop myself from gushing about it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I won the gush-off in the situation, Scott.
You gush real good. But I think the real winner is everyone who's ever played this game. Super Mario Galaxy simply rules, and I've come to realize that we both love it equally.
That's beautiful, Scott. This game is so breezy and fun, it's responsible for forging this dope new friendship. So, with that in mind, guys, we still give this game our completionist rating of Complete It.
Complete it!
That's all the time we have for today, guys, so please, as always, let me know what you thought of today's episode somewhere on the internet. A big thank you to Scott The Woz, the legend, the myth, Thank you for taking the time for talking to us today about Super Mario Galaxy. When we chose this game, I knew you were the right choice to join me and have a gush off all about it. If you like the show, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button below, and hey, check out Scott's videos. They're all over the screen right here. I've been Gerard, that was Scott, and we'll see you next week for the brand new episode. Bye!